Welcome back to Watching Film with Seth Varnadore. Today we're going to take a look at the Alabama offense against the Florida defense. We'll also have another video looking at the other side of the matchup, the Florida offense against the Alabama defense. This was such a good game, such a big game, such a well-coached game that I kind of want to go through and look at almost every snap of consequence just so you can see how each team was trying to attack one another. So we'll start here and we'll just roll through. You'll see this is not going to be every play from the game, but it's going to be a lot of it. And just to see how the teams attacked each other, how they set stuff up early, and then also how each team adjusted to what they were doing. Florida had some stuff early they end up adjusting to later on in the game, and you can kind of see that progress made throughout the game. So we'll start here on the first play. Alabama, both teams did this a ton. Use motion. Then Alabama's going to run, looks like just zone, kicking out the backside end, right? Slice. Kicking out the backside end. You see Florida kind of makes a pile. Backer gets there. Just a little kick out there. Little slice, zone. So it goes fast. And so this is something that you see Florida kind of does better later in the game. But here, going quick, getting lined up, making you match numbers right here. Florida's got 2 over 3. My thought is that having this guy tight, he's a tight end, having him tight to the line of scrimmage, maybe that holds him in here, and that allows him to go attack number 2. But either way, right there, you've got 2 blockers for the 2 defenders and have the receivers free. You got to come up and make a play, but it's already gone for a good gain right here. So right there, you got to equate numbers. That's something USF took advantage of Florida early in the game the prior week. Alabama comes out, makes you match numbers. Later on, Florida does a really good job with it. But early, making you match those numbers. Here you go. More motion. Making you readjust your counts on defense. All that kind of stuff. Alabama wants to take a shot. I thought this was a pretty good job, besides the interference here, of communicating. So when I come across the formation now, whatever numbers I had, now I gotta readjust my count. There's a new number 3 to that side. Now we got 4 to a side technically, with him being possible number 4. So it changes my count. I thought Trey Dean does a good job of getting to the middle of the field and then rotating to the deep middle. This is something I feel like they didn't do a great job of last year. Not the best throw from Bryce. It looks like it's a little behind him, but the interference, you get that call there on the interference, which was legitimate. But not a bad job, I think, of kind of getting back on defense. If Trey Dean turns his head around here, I think he's got a chance to make a play. I think he's looking to play through his hands and just got there a little early. So interference is better than a completion. But Alabama did not really hit a ton of shots down the field in this game. So that's obviously something Florida wanted to do. Right here, this is something both sides did. You got formation in the boundary. So you got 3 receivers here into the boundary. A tight end up top. And this is Billingsley, who's kind of that flex guy who's really a tight end, but also moves like a receiver. Use motion to get the defense to move. All right, we see how we kind of are over number 2. And now he becomes number 1. Here's number 2. And now that gives better angles here for the screen. So like Alabama is really well coached too, obviously. Safety for Florida comes down and makes a really good tackle here. I thought that's something Florida's gotten better at this year. Safety's coming down and actually filling and making tackles. I say that, and then we'll see the third down here coming up. That was kind of an issue, but that looked more like last year, whereas that play there was better. Second to floor, something I think Florida fans have been clamoring for is tight coverage. Right here, that's nose to nose. Mano a mano. Florida brings some pressure, makes Bryce Young get rid of the ball. Look like up top, you got double speed outs or possibly a stick concept. Go speed out, and I don't know, he could stick or out, or it could just be double speed outs. But he goes backside to the 1-on-1. Kyrie Elam makes a great play on the ball. No interference. Good job. After a penalty, you get to 3rd and 9. I thought this was a nicely called blitz here, and not unprotected either. You see, they try to get Alabama to take the bait a little bit and turn the pass protection this way. They're going to drop out. He's going to go to deep middle. Trey Dean's going to come on the blitz, and the safety's going to come here to replace him. So if you are looking to throw hot, which I believe they go kind of hot here, and he comes even underneath that. If you're looking to throw hot, maybe you jump underneath one. Bryce Young did a good job. You have to commend him for the ability to get the ball out of his hands and think quickly. Florida bothers him a little bit and makes him throw some errant passes as the game goes on, but early he was making quick decisions. Right there, you want them to make – that's the throw you want them to make. If it's 3rd and 9, made them throw a 4-yard pass. If you come up and make that tackle, 4th and 5, you might be off the field. Now, where the ball is, Alabama may have gone for it, but still, you get them to 4th down. There, you just kind of overexcited, don't come under control, and you miss the tackle. But the call is what you want. Thank you. Throw a 4-yard pass, and you get a hit on the quarterback. You just got to make that tackle. Then here's the touchdown. The motion. With the motion, we now have 4 receivers here, trying to kind of mess up the count for Florida. Florida does a pretty good job. It looks like they're boxing this bunch a little bit. So kind of short. So you got like shorten out, deeper and out, shorten in, deeper and in. And you do a pretty good job here of matching on everybody. He's coming here, but you got the safety sitting right there. So you do a pretty good job with this. Now, I think Coach Mullen said they got out-leveraged a couple times early in the game. That's what he's talking about. You don't want to be running kind of outside towards him on that angle. If you could have kind of widened with him, give yourself a little bit better chance. But again, here, you're making the quarterback take a check down, really. You're not letting him – right here, you do a pretty good job covering up the receivers going downfield. You make him check it down. And now, one-on-one in the open field, you make a tackle, that's no gain right there. Fortunately, you missed the tackle. He ends up going in for a touchdown there to start the game. But it was not quite as easy. It may have seemed like it may have seemed a little easier, but I thought Florida was in much better position this year, even early, than they were last year in that SEC championship game, where Alabama seemed to have guys running all over the field. So here's a bunch concept we saw from USF last week. So right, if you're boxing it, which I'm not sure if Florida is, but if you have inside short, outside deep, kind of more inside deep, kind of occupy him, and then just curl up in the middle there. So right here, you occupy the short inside, you occupy the short outside, curl up in the middle. USF ran this the previous week, set out of bunch as well. Same kind of exact look, same result, 5 yards with it, and then tackled right after the catch. But again, quick decision making, using formations to get a guy open. That's just tough for anybody on defense, because if you start trying to play it differently, then they can start running all kinds of rubs and stuff on you that can really get you into big problems. So you're okay kind of giving up the 5-yarder out of that look. You don't want to give up the 50-yarder out of that look. Right here, Alabama comes back with what looks to be kind of a something that UCF has made famous, and now Lebby has brought that with him to Ole Miss. I call it like it's the same side counter. Guard's going to come and kick out. He's going to come across like he's slicing, and then he's going to come back here. So it's really counter. Florida's got the perfect blitz dialed up, or Jeremiah Moon just read this beautifully. But he hits this gap right here where the puller goes. And now, what I think is interesting on this is, does this have an RPO element to it? You'll see, I believe it's Mechie here. He runs kind of a little bit of a post look there. And then you also see this tackle kind of setting back for this wide rusher. If it was just the straight counter, I don't know if he sets for the wide rusher. They may be down there, and maybe they cut this blitz off. But if it's got the RPO element to it, where you see Mechie turning his head here at the very end, that allows Moon to kind of squirt through there because these guys get occupied. You can kind of see it here from this angle. Right, when you have a puller, you're kind of gonna seal that gap, call it gap seal, then hinge back. The center's coming down the same way to help here. Right there, you see the center kind of eye Moon for a second, but he stays out here, and then he's getting out wide. Now, is that just because of the RPO element? I think it is. So there's nobody left for Moon, and you see here at the end, Mechie's running a route. So well-timed blitz are a really good job of taking advantage of the RPO rules here, or maybe Alabama just busted. But a lot of times when you're running that RPO, you kind of lock that tackle back on because you don't want your quarterback to get smoked if he pulls it. Third down here. This was one of those. This is a tough one if you're a Florida fan. If you're an Alabama fan, you probably think it's a justified flag. Florida's press man. It looks like hand fighting. Maybe a little grab there. But that's tough. That's one of those real toss-up ones. I know in the broadcast booth they said they didn't like the call. I thought a lot of the calls on the interferences were borderline. This one you can see a little bit of the hold there, but still, this is not egregious, I don't think. But, I'm sure Alabama fans would say this is egregious. So next play, you get the RPO look off zone slice. And this is what I mean. You kind of affected Bryce Young. So he got smoked earlier on a couple of these throws. And you see right here, we're not really stepping into this thing with authority. We're kind of flipping our hips and just getting out of our hands fast. I think you affect the throw a little bit here. And if he has a good throw, a good route here by the receiver, if he has a good throw, that's probably a completed pass. He throws it behind the receiver for an incompletion. I think that's just because of kind of the effect Florida had on him with some of that blitzing. Hitting him early kind of helps force that throw there. Again, motion. Throwing it out of the backfield fast. So Young's gathering information right here, right? Motion across. He's carrying it. Oftentimes a man coverage indicator, but it could mean a couple different things. You could switch it up, but a lot of times a man coverage indicator, right? He kind of sees these guys pedal, feels like maybe it's man coverage. I'm just going to throw it out here to my back, get it on him fast. Again, right here, if you can come down and control, you can make a play there for a loss of 1, 2, 3, 4, possibly 5-yard loss right there. But you don't come in control. This guy's got great balance. Able to turn into a possible 5-yard loss into like a 9-yard gain. Now you get to 3rd and 1. And, sometimes, these guys have the other team's allowed to call good plays too. I think this is just a really good play call. Cut Florida into blitz. and Florida was late getting to the back here. Good play call. Good throw by the quarterback. Good execution at the ball of his hands. Maybe a missed face mask there. I don't know, but good play call on the Alabama side there. Motion. Throw it out to him. Another spot where you might be a little out leveraged here, right? So what's the quarterback looking for? Does anybody go with the motion? So if I'm a quarterback, I'm looking in the box here. Is anybody going? Not really, right? So I'll just throw this thing out there. Right there, you're hoping you kind of turn this ball back in. But that's tough because they're also running a route out here. Not the easiest thing in the world to do, right? Perfect world. I can flip my hips, kind of force the ball back into my teammates. But Alabama did a pretty good job. This is what Coach Mullen, I think, was talking about. He was talking about getting out leveraged. Right here, there's nobody. You're out leveraged right now. They've got the space. They've got you. And then you're not able to turn the ball back in. So it picks up 8-9 yards in just a simple swing, right? Here's the touchdown play. This is just really well-designed play, and then also kind of a little bit of bad luck on Florida's part. But Alabama's they shift and move a lot just to make you change up your counts and really make you think on the back end. So there's one motion. Now they're kind of stacked. Now originally in the count, 3 receivers to this side, he's number 1. Okay. That's the original picture. Now they're going to move again. So now he's number 1, he's number 2, he's number 3. And then some of these have rules where he might become number 2 if he goes. These are not, the defense is not simple. Defense is very complex, right? You kind of have to be in it for a while to understand the complexities. I've always been an offensive guy. We understand some of the structure, but there's so many nuances to these coverages. And these guys at this level really understand how to attack it. So now I bring in the possibility of a 4th guy. But Florida actually doesn't do a terrible job passing this off. What happens is he gets caught right here. So 1, he's going to 2. Right there, that's not a bad job. And then you got somebody for the motion man. Right there, you get picked a little bit. I think it's bad luck, maybe a bad angle. But that's how you get a guy popped wide open. But from a scheme standpoint, it's just using a ton of movement to reset. You got to you're making the defense think a ton. Resetting numbers all over the place, right? And then you run into each other, and that's what happens right there. But I think Florida had, even with all that movement, I think they were in decent position until here. Whatever happened there between these two guys, that's kind of where the play broke down right there. All right, so 3rd drive after the pick. Again, using motion, trying to mess up your counts here. Take the one-on-one shot. See how aggressive they're playing here with Trey Dean. He's coming up filling for that. Take the one-on-one shot. Looks like maybe it was like possibly a type of like a Y cross almost. Taking the shot outside. So crosser. Curler dig backside. And then he's the motion man coming back out to become the flat there. So to me, it looks like Y cross. Little air raid. But they sell the block here. Good job by the corner. You'll see down here, they kind of sell the block and then go. Good job by the corner, not biting on it. And when you got the safety flying in, that helps. Looks like cover 1. That also helps. Here's one where I thought At the snap, he appears to have outside leverage. Right? I think this thing's locked. He has outside leverage. He's got eyes to number 2 over here as well, it appears. So right here, when 2 comes in, you don't want to, I don't think you need to drive on this, right? You've got help right here. You don't need to drive on that because here's what happens. You drive on it, and this is a 2nd and 15, right? The last play was incomplete. You get a procedure penalty or a false start or whatever it was. You get that 5-yard penalty. You get them a 2nd and 15. And now right here, you kind of lose, right? You lose your leverage right there. You're outside. I think once he starts to go in, you can kind of slow play this. You got him kind of playing the inside, but you kind of get a little overzealous. They break out on you. And then they pick up a big gain to make it a 3rd and manageable. So instead of, let's say they throw an incomplete pass, it's 3rd and 15. Now it's 3rd and 5, which is definitely manageable down in distance. Here you just get caught. A nice little rub. I think this is just a pretty good play call. Florida brings some pressure. He's going to get out of it and runs into the ref. That doesn't help. But I think he would have had problems keeping up with that all the way across the field. Good play call. Kind of the perfect call right here. You bring the blitz from there. He replaces the blitzer with the ball right here. Good pass protection even so. And then you have your linebacker that's kind of dropping into that area. Hit the referee doesn't help either. But, they're allowed to call plays too. Right here, just drop out of the backfield. One of those missed early tackles. Pretty good job, I think, down here coverage-wise. Make him drop it off again. And that's the impressive thing about Bryce Young, I thought, was he did not force a ton of balls. He knew kind of where his outlets were and where to drop it off to and let those guys go make plays, which they did. All right, so 21-3, looking like it's going to be a tough game here for Florida. Then right here you get intentional grounding call. The tight end's coming across to help here. Good job by Cox. Ends up taking 2 blockers. And then Dexter in the middle he played like a man possessed, I thought, for a lot of the game. You'll see here, taking on 2 guys. Here's a little spin. Is able to cause some pressure. Get his hands on the quarterback. And then look back here. Florida's got these guys hugged up pretty good in coverage. Only rushing 4 guys here and able to get this kind of pressure. I thought they played pretty well up front for most of the night. Great job there. 2nd and 16 after the penalty. Good coverage here. Again, only having to rush 4 is helpful. Good play there by the star. Playing through the hands. Really good job. 3rd and 16, Florida rushes 3. When you can get pressure with 3, that helps. And when the Florida got those pass rush downs, Zach Carter and Brenton Cox did a really good job. And there you see the coverage. You're not playing man, but these guys are aggressive to fly down on top of these routes. Great job making a play right there. But it starts with Zach Carter right here winning on the outside. Forcing Bryce Young to have to kind of leave the pocket. Throw going to his left. Not a bad throw, but Florida's able to get there and break it up to get off the field on 3rd down. So next drive, I think he had a little run on for first down for 5 yards. Here's 2nd and 5. Trying to go to the RPO. And again, these guys aren't going to be perfect the whole game. It seems like they are, but right here, tight coverage, forces an errant throw. And then also kind of getting back in the pocket and getting a little pressure on him and pass downs it builds upon itself a little bit to where sometimes you'll get some of these errant throws where guys are trying to get the ball out of their hands really fast. Gets it out of his hands. Incomplete. You get yourself to 3rd and 5. Then again, this is a pretty good job. So they try to come with a similar look, right, to where they're running kind of a mesh down here. All right, trying to get that rub. Florida does a pretty good job right there. I mean, I think it's Perkins right there. This is a pretty good job of avoiding this whole mess right here and staying in his hip pocket. Forces him to rush and throw the ball down the field. And then a great play through the hands here by Kaiir Elam. You can see it here. These guys are definitely trying. It's kind of the mesh route, right? They're trying to those 2 crossers in the mesh, trying to somebody pop open. And then instead of having to sit over the ball here, so a lot of times on mesh, you'll get a guy coming to sit over the ball, and you'll see later one of their big plays, they have that. Instead of that, he's just going to run and keep going. It looks like you have kind of a dig coming back here behind it. Pressure flushes him out of the pocket. Great job here. Instead of running, he decides to take a shot downfield. It's a really well thrown ball, but watch Kaiir Elam's left hand. The defensive back's taught to play through the hands. Right there looks pretty good. Left hand there. Helps to pull that thing out of there to get off the field again on 3rd down. Next drive, you had a 1-yard rush on 1st down. Here's 2nd down again using motion. Good coverage back here. And then you have some guys running up front. Florida's able to get some pressure without having to blitz, which I'm sure might have made Coach Grantham a little upset that he wasn't blitzing. But they did a really good job here of just sitting back in coverage and letting their front go to work. And those guys did a good job. Here you're starting to see some push in the pocket here. And then now the ball has not been released. So Florida's obviously playing well in coverage. Young tries to escape. Cox does a good job of getting back in on the play and getting a sack there on 2nd down. Then you get yourself in 3rd and 12. Right here, there's not a lot of play calls for 3rd and long, but Alabama tries to run kind of a shallow screen where we're going to kind of try to go vertical here. The back's going to come out almost like he's going to be going out for a route, but he's really just going to block. Number 1 on the opposite side is going to come shallow, catch the ball on the run, and then all these guys are going to be kind of blockers out in front for him, right? So it looks like he's just running a normal shallow route. You got blockers. So right here, the back right here is coming to block. I thought this was a great example of Florida getting off blocks in the secondary, which last year, I don't know if this happens. I think if I freeze this and tell you this is the 2020 defense, I think you're feeling like this might be a 1st down right here. They do a good job of closing the net right here, avoiding this block. And then look how many guys you got coming to the football. Florida defense played with great effort and great intensity and got off the field on another 3rd down. I believe they said on the broadcast it's the first time Alabama's gone 3 and out on 3 straight possessions since like 2017 or something to that effect. So quite an accomplishment there. Just getting off the field 3 drives in a row. 3rd quarter. This is a great job taking on this block. So they're trying to bring the tight end back through here. They're trying to run a little bit of a counter. But watch what happens inside here. This play gets blown up. Beats the down block. Blows up the tight end pull. And they're able to get the kick, but there's nobody for him. Now he's able to fill. I believe that's Zach Carter. The guy's making himself a lot of money this year. I think I say it every week, but he's being able to move inside and out. Right there, he blows up that play. I think he might even get a hand on the back here. Then linebacker comes in and cleans it up for no gain. Another penalty. Puts him in 2nd and long here. This is just kind of a well-timed ball and well-run route. Kind of beats the defense here. There's not a ton you can do about this. Playing kind of off. Safety's coming up and driving on the route. He gets there right after the ball is, but the ball is well thrown and with good timing. Not much you can do there. So, the other team's got guys on scholarship too, and a lot of them are 5-star players. So you can't win them all. Third and 3. Another chance to get off the field here. Right here, looks like he got a shot. This is a pretty good job here by Alabama. He kind of goes down and kind of is able to push him back on to the guard and then get to the linebacker kind of the last second here. Gets a good job, and now he turns back and gets a piece of the backer. The back's able to kind of stop just long enough and be patient enough to squeeze through the hole. Newkirk here kind of gets spun around, trying to fight it. I think he thinks the ball's going to cut back, so he tries to spin back into it. Almost spins back into the tackle, but isn't able to kind of find it in time. So just, this is one you got to tip your hat. Really good execution here by the Alabama center. Kind of pushing Newkirk back on the guard and then still able to get back to this linebacker. That's really good execution. Not much you can do. You kind of had guys there. It looks like it's going to be real. You're going to get some run through. Good job by the Alabama center turning back, and just missed right there by Newkirk to get off the field again on 3rd down. But I think it's nice to see the safeties kind of coming up and hitting. Last year, I didn't think they had a lot of guys that would trigger and fill in the run game. And here you're seeing guys trigger and make tackles as well. So right there, fill, hold on, make the tackle. Here's the mesh with the sit. I think that Florida may have a bust on this. I'm not exactly sure, but he's number 1. He's going to go sit over the ball. Here, I believe we got the mesh coming from there. He may have a corner or something to that effect. Maybe he's got a wheel. It's kind of this is like a Chip Kelly mesh. They did this a ton where you got guys and then a sit over the ball. He's sitting right over the ball. Right here, I think this might be a mistake by the safety here. He flies down with this, and you see it appears you've got somebody there for that. He kind of flies across with it. I don't know if that's his rule, or if he just got mixed up. I think he got mixed up here. Kind of leaves this open there where you might have a safety. The corner's got to come over. But again, it's hard to tell without the all-22. But just a little mesh route by Alabama. Again, this is like if you're an Alabama fan here, this is pretty good poise because this pocket's not super clean. Look what Florida kind of did up front here. Really push the pocket back. That's why the throw is a little errant, but just a great play by the receiver. He's able to avoid and make a pretty good play here. This probably was one of their longer passing plays of the day, and Florida still was able to kind of affect it. So remember we talked about Florida fitting up numbers earlier. Right, 1, 2, 3. He's kind of a little more involved, but still not very. 1, 2, 3. They're going to go for the same thing where he comes to get number 2 there, just like they did on the very first drive of the game. But watch how much different Florida plays it here. He recognizes it. He triggers 100 miles an hour, makes a great play. Great job there. This is one right here. This is a game-changing play right here, possibly. Great design. Cox does not rush. He does not drop a lot. You bring pressure here. What did he do earlier, right? Florida brought pressure. He threw to the vacated spot. He did a great job. Really good job by the quarterback throwing to the vacated spot right there, right? You bring pressure. You think he's going to throw to the vacated spot. Well, now we're going to drop a defensive end or the buck, I guess, in this case. Drop him to that vacated spot, hoping you don't notice him. You didn't notice him right there. That's a game-changing play right there. He catches it. I don't think he's gone, but he's got some open field right here, and he's got a chance to do something with it. Doesn't catch it. It's even tougher to watch on this angle right here. You got this guy fooled. This is a great call by Todd Grantham. Right there. Ugh. That close to getting off the field there. Slips through his fingertips. Chance for a big play. That changes the whole game right there. It really changes the complexion. Anyways, you got him in 3rd and 12. You just can't get a. This is kind of a. If you don't make contact at all here, similar look, kind of. Really, you're bringing pressure and you drop the end out. He gets underneath it. Right here, if he doesn't get any kind of. First of all, I think the ball's going to be well thrown. It looks like it'd be on target. So, interference, obviously. This was an easy call, right? If he doesn't collision him and he just catches the ball right here, you think you come up and make a tackle, you're 4th down. Just it's kind of tough. They might have been telling him, hey, you can collision the guys downfield, but this ball's thrown so fast. The collision while it's in the air, that's an easy call for the referees. But if you didn't, I think you might be able to make a tackle there short of the 1st down. And now you got a chance. Now they've got to decide, do we kick a field goal or go for it here? They might go for it. If you're if you end up 2-3 yards away, maybe they get a field goal and you that changes the complexion of the game a little bit. Good hard run here. Again, Slice kicking out. Not a big hole, but they're enough of one. You kind of lose your footing there a little bit. Stalemate win for the offense. He squirts through. Just aren't able to hold on there. Good hard run. Safety comes up and makes another tackle. Great job up front here. This is all one up front. You see a double team get split inside. I think that's Zach Carter again. Watch right here. Try to double him. He splits it. This is kind of a weird one where the ball got snapped, possibly. Maybe should have been delay game. Either way, there's some confusion up front for Alabama. The ball gets snapped. Pass rush gets through, beats the double team. Quarterback has to get the ball out of his hands in a hurry. He does. Incomplete. You get yourself to 3rd and 10. They complete an out route. Just barely converting here. Good job. I thought this was a really good job on the edge here. I believe this is Jeremiah Moon taking on the tight ends block. Watch this right here. Really good job by him coming down the line and making that play. This is when I think you get a bust from the linebacker here, is my guess, right? I think we'll see this from a wider view. Thank you, Gary Danielson, for the illustration here. But watch here. He's kind of playing, his eyes are this way. You seem to have somebody, we're kind of in the same spot, right? What you don't have is somebody kind of sitting right here. Because Alabama puts one. They make this tough. What they're trying to do here is kind of push him through vertically to hold off and then let him come underneath is what it looks like they're trying to do. The safety plays through him. If you have a linebacker here that maybe drops underneath this, now this is obviously a tougher throw. There you bust and leave him open. Luckily for Florida, he drops this, but well-designed play by Alabama, but I think it's just a coverage bust really for Florida here. These guys appear to be both in the same spot. So I think just a little bust there, but again, a well-designed play. But I think Florida had the right call on. They just didn't execute it right here. If he drops underneath that, he's in the passing window, it would appear. But you get lucky. 3rd and 8. Getting good job with the pass rush, forcing it, and then the coverage forcing him to drop it down. He gets tackled short. This was an interesting, so right here, 4th and inches. I believe this was not after a timeout, but there was a review, right? So Alabama it was kind of a pseudo timeout for them. They got a chance to come out. So what do? First of all, they brought in a heavy personnel grouping. You'll see it here. And you notice, so there's a tight end. They said on the broadcast this is a converted tackle, but we're in a tight end number. Tight end, fullback, tight end. I don't know how often they use a fullback, but we can call him a fullback. So let's call him a fullback. So you got 3 tight ends, 2 backs. You got 23 personnel. You're not seeing that a lot except on the goal line. But the interesting part of this, the really great schematic part that I don't think Florida recognized because it happened so fast. Center, guard, tight end. So, guard, tackle, tight end, tight end. So Alabama goes tackle over, overloads the left side. I think Florida lines up to it like it's a traditional. First of all, they're lined up. They're messed up out here, but this is, with the tackle coming over, I don't think they adjust to that tackle over. You see it. Florida's kind of loaded. It appears they're loaded up there. There's not much of an edge out here. I think this got confused. Why would they get confused? Look how Alabama doesn't get lined up and just go. They use the sugar huddle. So they huddle up really close to the line of scrimmage. This is something you see Auburn used to do with Malzahn all the time. I'm not sure. I'm sure we'll use it with UCF as well. You huddle up really close to the line of scrimmage, get on the ball fast and snap it quickly so the defense doesn't have a chance to adjust. You see how quickly they get on the ball. Defense doesn't adjust. They don't realize it's tackle over. Then you walk in the end zone. So really good. I mean, when you get that free timeout, really good adjustment here to go sugar huddle, overload, tackle over. It makes it really hard for anybody to adjust on defense because it happens so fast. Right? Kind of the last drive of consequence for Alabama. They obviously get the ball back and will run the clock down. Again, using motion. Right here, here's one. Again, you just gotta when you make them hit these short throws, you just gotta rally. You just gotta tackle, make them move the ball down the field. Don't want to miss tackles right here. Miss tackle lets them kind of pick up some chunk yards on first down here. But again, using the motion to kind of widen space out. The back's coming out here, going to hold him. You've got the tight end coming out to widen him. He's held there. Just get a nice little sit right in the hole. Easy throw for the quarterback. Then really good run after catch here by the receiver. To get a big play on first down, kind of get their drive going. Pretty good job here by Florida. Playing the run. Bringing the tight end across. I don't know if I'm not quite sure if he's supposed to be inserting. It doesn't appear he's quite sure. He's looking out here. I don't know if he's supposed to insert there. or what. But he kind of does nothing. Florida's able to rally, make a tackle for a couple yards. Played the run pretty well there. Push in the pocket. Second and long here. Push in the pocket kind of kills the play, but Florida had pretty good coverage here. Again, not having to blitz. You can drop guys into coverage if you play disciplined. Pretty good job right there. Pretty good push by Cox, and you're also seeing some push here. Tough throw. Really just throws it away. Kind of throws it out of trouble here. But this is all for the Gator front there, and then good coverage in the back end. 3rd and 7. This is where we want to get off the field. As much as Kyer Elam's in the first half was tough, I think this is to me, this is really bang bang. That's a tough call to make right there. He might have got there a little early, but this is tough to see with the naked eye, I think. Maybe the correct call, but this is pretty good coverage right here. Florida's going to bring pressure. Run through the guard. He's going to wrap around. Try to take the center right there. Back does a good job in protection here. And then I think this is pretty good coverage right there. That's pretty good. I think that you get off the field with that a lot of times. More times than not. But you get the penalty called, you got to come back and play. Really good job here by Dexter. Again, using motion, try to mess with your eyes. Zach Carter playing inside here. Slant across face right there. Cause some problems. And then Dexter's here. 5 stars make plays. You sign them for a reason. And that's a really good play by him. Getting off the block. No gain there on first down. Here, you don't quite get home. This I thought was a pretty blatant holding call right here that was missed. I'm sure there was some on the other end too, but right there, I mean, he's got his arms wrapped around him pretty good. That's a hold to me. Don't see it. Good job by Bryce Young getting down. But again, pretty good. It must be pretty good coverage on the back end, right? He's not forcing anything. So here you can kind of see it. Again, he got his arms wrapped around him. To me, that's a hold. Florida's doing a pretty good job right there. He's got one for that. Linebackers coming to the tight end late. It covered up everything pretty well, forcing the quarterback to break it down and run. He runs for a first down. Split zone. Well blocked here by Alabama. Big Dez gets pushed off path. Good cut by the back. Then your safety comes up and makes the play. Ideally, you don't want him coming up and making a lot of plays in the run game, but right here, this is a pretty good job by him coming up and fitting in the hole. 5-yard gain here, or 3 or 4 yard gain, but a good job of the safety kind of getting downhill. But pretty well blocked there by Alabama. 2nd and 5. As you get the hold here. But this is interesting. So you're going to get block the point man. Now he's going to release outside to block the corner. Just throwing a bubble out there. And we got a run play in here. He sees he's got numbers out there and leverage, so he pulls it. I think it's a pretty good job. I think if he doesn't get blocked, he's forcing this ball back into the linebacker who's doing a pretty good job of getting out there. Obviously, the holding call gets it back to 2nd and 11 here. Good call on the screen right here by Alabama. But a good effort here by Brenton Cox, I thought. All right, he's at the line of scrimmage. He's rushing. He retraces. Right here, you're hoping I can turn that back into the safety and make a play right there. He's able to score it out. Slows him down a little bit, but Cox comes up and finishes off the play. But instead of maybe 3rd and 8 or 3rd and 7, you're at 3rd and 3, which is a lot easier, right? Opens lots more to you. And this is when you kind of got to tip your hat. Just a really good play by Bryce Young, heads up. This is not too dissimilar to something Florida ran a lot. You saw Emory Jones drop it down to the tight ends. Not too dissimilar. He's going to look like he's part of the run block scheme. Turn, and then make himself available. Really good job there by Bryce Young avoiding the rush. You don't have a bad play call on if you're Florida. If you're able to kind of make that play in the backfield, he makes a great play, gets it down there. And Alabama's got 1st and goal at the 2-yard line. Great stand here by Florida. You see Big Dez in there, kind of eating up some bodies. But a really good job getting off the block. Again, it's Dexter. This is pretty next level stuff right here. Watch this matchup. Just kind of get off me. Makes the play. Then gets some help from his linebacker, who is kept clean because these guys don't get blown off the ball. So Big Dez right there eating up a block. He's winning a block. Keeps your linebackers clean. And they fill here and help you make the play. No gain. Right here, a little lucky. Maybe the quarterback could have ran this one in. You see, I think Florida's lined up a lot better to this heavy set here than they were previously. Not totally. You don't really get the tackle over element of it, but just they're not just huge gaps on either side, right? Looks like Alabama has a chance right here. Quarterback decides to throw it. Good job getting a hand on it. And then I thought this was really, like, if you want to talk about how locked in these teams were, how locked in Florida was defensively, or times last year it looks like they lost focus. I think this is a really good shot of how locked in they were. Just watching for every detail, making sure the guy comes down out of bounds, locked into the play. I think that was really good to see from the Florida defense. Locked in, focused the entire game for the most part. And then 3rd down here. Cox kind of wins. Big Dez does a pretty good job here. And then Amari Burney comes up and makes a great play in the hole right here. See Big Dez right here. Cox kind of shortening that, getting inside, getting him to shorten that edge a little bit. Then Burney comes in here and fills. And you got Big Dez with a little help there at the end. But great job by the linebackers and the defensive line in this goal line stand. Unfortunately, Florida's kind of, I think, better than expected defensive effort. Wasn't enough. Alabama, you saw, had some really good play calls on at really inopportune times for Florida. But Florida did a pretty good job. Probably the best job anybody's done against Alabama in a while. And they still scored 30 points because they're really good. I'm sure all the Florida players would like to get another shot at Alabama. And that would be nice to watch because it was a really good schematic battle for the entire game.